Hey everyone, welcome to the 17th episode of the Dose of Desi. Today is Saturday, February 25th, 2023. It's our first episode of the new year, and I'm excited to be back.
Me too. Yeah. It's I think we skipped a month or two there. I uh I got a little bit sick over the holiday break, so it's good to be back. Yeah. I think we're gonna try something a little different today, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, should be interesting. We thought let's just kind of do something a little different. And so brought up this idea. I'm going to play this game right here called We're Not Really Strangers. Not sponsored or anything by them in any way. It was a game that when I was visiting my family in California, we ended up playing. And it was actually pretty fun. Not really, I say game. There might be like rules to it or something, but more just like a way to like connect with people and get to know each other. And then I actually used it at work as like a team building thing, and that was also really fun. So I just thought it'd be kind of interesting. Um, so I brought it up as an idea, and we figured we'll try it out.
Yeah, I was reading about it
Um,
online, by the way, a little bit, and it looks like there are like, well, I know you're gonna go through the levels and explain all of that, but in terms of like what it's recommended for, it says like strengthen existing relationships or friendships and like create new ones. And then there was like some like on their advertisement on their website, there was like a outdoor table setup, and it's like get to know a stranger or something like that. So it seems like an interesting concept. So let's give it a try.
yeah, for sure. And before we jump in as well, make sure you share your thoughts, comments, and questions in the chat box throughout the podcast as well. And so if as we're kind of pulling up these questions and answering ourselves, it'd be cool if you want to answer along too in the chat, and then we can try and read some of the answers in there also. So the way this works is there's kind of three levels of questions. So level one is perception, level two is connection, and then level three is reflection. So as we get down through the levels, the idea is the questions become like deeper and more like thought provoking and that sort of thing. So we figured we'll answer a few questions in each level and just kind of go as we progress. So
And
I'm gonna pick
before
out. Oh
real
yeah,
quick
go ahead.
before we get started, just so like there's some context, Hassan, you and I have known each other for how long now?
Um,
like
gosh, let's see. So
like
we were
15
roommates
years or something.
like 2010 to 2011, but we knew each other the couple of years before that.
15
So
years, 14, 15 years, right?
yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So so almost not quite half our lives, but get kind of getting there. Give it another few years and we'll be there. So
For sure, definitely a
yeah.
significant part.
All
So
right.
it'll be interesting to see if there's anything new we can learn even after 15 years or what. I don't know.
Yeah.
So what we'll do, because I have all the cards, of course, is we'll kind of go, back and forth, and either I'll read off a question or I'll hold it up to the camera for you to read the question as well. So how do we want to start? Do you want me to read a question first?
Yeah, and I guess we're starting off with level one, right? And just
Yes,
curious,
level one is perception.
how long should each response be, or kind of just like say what you want to say?
Yeah, I think let's try our best where we can to like add some detail or color to the answers. But if not, if it's something out of the box, you don't have much to say, we can keep it short. Or and we did say too, depending on the questions, especially as the levels go on, if we're not comfortable for whatever reason, we can pass on and go to another question as well. This is more just for fun as a way of just kind of going through these questions. So no pressure in any way with the questions, but we'll try and elaborate and give context for people, because there may be answers to questions that the two of us know, but then at least for the listeners, we can add detail. But
Sounds good.
um All right. So we did a couple trial runs, by the way, and before this, and I think this is actually one of the questions we did.
That was
But
it.
how likely am I to go camping? How high maintenance is my setup?
So you're asking me that?
I'm asking you, how likely am I to go camping?
Okay, all right, my bad. Um, I don't think you're very likely to go camping. How high maintenance is likely to be your setup? I mean, you would bring probably a RV or a trailer with you if you could, along with like I don't know a bunch of other stuff. I think that's my guess, but
I think that's pretty accurate. It'd be like Wi-Fi, everything, the like, not that I don't mind like going out into nature. I just don't necessarily need to be stuck there overnight. Like I can go explore and then come back. But
I can definitely see you. I can picture you definitely having like a Bluetooth speaker or some sort of like speaker for some reason. I don't know why.
yeah, yeah, I can see that for sure, for sure.
I
Yeah.
guess just curious, what do you think in reverse? Do you if I were to ask you that question just for fun?
Um, I think I think you would go camping. And I don't think your setup would be very high maintenance or anything. I think you would probably enjoy an adventure like that and going out and I mean you already like keep things pretty simple for the most part in terms of like all the crazy tech stuff, this, that, everything that you have, in your life. So I don't think it's like that you have to necessarily bring everything with you if you go camping either. But that's what I would think.
I think that's about right. I actually want to go camping again sometime. My only thing would be if it's cold, then I would want to be warm, and also like sleeping wise, I would want to have a comfortable sleeping bag or something. But other than that, I'd like to. It'd be nice to, sleep under the stars or do something like that.
Yeah, nice. All right. And then, by the way, there's a few we talked about. There's some wild card things in here. We're just going to skip those just to make it a little easier. But this is your question to read.
Right. How many speeding tickets do you think I've gotten in my life? I think we came across that during our like practice run too, didn't we?
Um, I don't know if we did this one. So you're saying, okay, how you're asking how many speeding tickets do you think I've got in my life? So I have to answer about you. Um, how many speeding tickets do I think you've gotten? I feel like most people have gotten at least one in their life. Like that's pretty common. I mean, I don't. I've been in the car with you a bunch, so I don't. You're not like a crazy reckless driver or anything. So I mean, I'm just gonna say one, just as a pretty common thing. Is that
Yeah, like you're right. Yeah. There's only one that I can recall. I mean, there have been like, photo camera tickets, that kind of thing. But yeah, speeding wise, there's only been one. And I actually remember when I got it, I went to court for it and got it reduced a little bit. So
gotcha?
yeah,
Okay.
pretty good. We
All
seem to
right.
know each other pretty well so far.
So far. Okay. Do you think I fall in love easily? Why or why not?
Oh boy. Oh boy. Do I think you fall in love easily? Um, I think you're a very practical, more logical type of guy. That doesn't mean you're not emotional. That doesn't mean, you don't feel it or anything like that. But I think it seems to me, if I had to guess, you tend to feel more comfortable in like practical, logical areas rather than more emotional ones. Again, I've seen you grow a lot in the emotional areas too over the years. But do I think you fall in love easily? Um, well, for one, you're married now, so that's a kind of a moot point. But let's say before that, I think I. Oh man, this is a hard one. um, I'm not gonna say no, but I feel like you tend to like take your time, feel it out, want to feel comfortable. Like you need, I don't know, maybe you have like maybe you need to feel a little sense of comfort before you can really open yourself up. So in that sense, no, not immediately. Whereas I might be totally different from that. But go ahead. Do you think that's accurate?
I think for the most part, yeah. Like it's one of those things where like that initial, connection with people, whatever, sure, but to develop what is truly like love, like I do need to be
Yeah.
comfortable. I do kind of really need to see them, like with my wife Maine right now, like as a friend, and really get to know them more, and really, before I can truly fall in love, I would say.
Like your walls need to
So
come down slowly, kind of that kind of like your defenses, are up. So you need to like allow them to come down slowly with time. How much time I can't say, but yeah,
yeah,
that's how I see you anyway.
yeah, that's fair. All right, here's your.
Wait, aren't you asking me one now?
Uh, no, I just read this card.
Okay, okay, okay,
So
okay.
now you read this one.
Do I seem like a coffee or a tea person, sweetened or unsweetened?
Um, Gosh. I think you. I don't really recall you drinking much coffee whenever we're together or anything. Like we tend to go for teas and stuff whenever we go out, places and everything. And you, I feel like you tend to not get like, at least not like the full sugar and stuff with it or whatever. So I don't know when you say sweetened or unsweetened. I don't know if like necessarily unsweetened, but like half, sweet, just to get a little bit of it in there. Um, is that about right?
Yeah, so I would say out of coffee and tea, I drink coffee very, very rarely, but I do every once in a while. It's more like a Starbucks, something or the other or something, or like I like iced coffees a little bit more. Um, but yeah, unless it's like cappuccino or something. But teas are a little bit more so. Not like I drink one every week or every other day or anything. And in terms of sweetened or unsweetened, yeah, very little sugar or maybe a bit of honey or something like that is okay with me. Too sweet is not my cup of tea.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so pretty accurate.
All right. Do I seem like someone who would get a name tattooed on myself? Why or why not?
No, no, no way, dude. No, no. That's like a yeah. I don't think you'd get anything tattooed on anything. I don't think you're a tattoo kind of person at all. Um, yeah.
That's correct.
Can I not like? I mean, do I have to explain? I mean, you're just not like I cannot imagine you as a tattoo guy.
Yeah.
Like, maybe one of those like maybe if you found like one of those like temporary Power Rangers tattoos, I could see like you'd be like, oh yeah, this is awesome. But I don't think you're gonna be like, oh yeah, let me go get tatted up, a sleeve or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's right. I'm not it's not really my thing. Just there's some cool stuff that people do and everything. I just don't, the idea of something permanent on my body like that, just for me, is just not my thing. But um
I
yeah,
think I'm right there with you for the most part. I,
yeah.
I, there have been times I like thought about it, like in Albania. I was like, oh, I want to remember Albania, and I thought about it, and then it like never happened. So and I'm like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. There's other ways I can bring souvenirs or something.
Right,
Uh,
exactly. Yeah. Okay.
what was your first impression of me? Ah, good luck remembering that. I don't remember anything.
Oh, I remember. I've talked to you about this
Oh
a
yeah, you
bunch
have.
before, I
Okay.
think too. No, my first impression. So I think the way that I initially met you was one of my roommates at the time in college did this thing. There was a student organization that did like these. different activities and events and stuff. And one of the things they did was on I think it was like weekends, there would be like these free movies that they would have for students. And so he, helped to kind of set it up and all that, and so did you. So I would go with my roommate, and you would be there, and I just recall, you getting up in front of everyone, giving the rules, and kind of getting everybody all
Yes.
together, and just you just had like this like energy to you, and this like um this like fun vibe and everything. And I just remember like thinking like, oh dude, this dude like he's super cool. He's seems super like extroverted and like has all this energy and this that super like positive vibe. Just wants that fun with kind of everything. And I was like, oh, this is a cool guy. And yeah, I just good first impressions is like just seems like seems pretty fun.
Thanks. That seems like a different time, like a different dimension ago, like
15 years ago.
yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, it even feels longer than that. But yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah. All right. So now, should we just do one more round of this one and then probably go to level 2?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
It's already been like 15 minutes. I didn't realize that.
Okay. Do you think I'm usually early, on time, or late to events? Explain.
I think you're almost pretty much either slightly early or pretty much on time, for the most part. The second part was just explained, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah, I think if you say it like usually if we like plan for a time, you're pretty much like on time, and if you're running late, always communicate, which is not often. Whereas I'm always running late, and then sometimes you'll arrive on time on the late time that I propose, and then I'll show up late to that late time. So, sometimes that happens, but yeah, I think you're pretty much early or on time for the most part.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much true. I'm kind of the exception in the Desi rule, Desi time. Usually more. There's a time I just plan for it and just get there on that, by that time, unless there's
Yeah.
something like extra, like some crazy traffic, something that kind of
Mhm.
throws that out the window. But yeah,
I think you're very like mindful and conscientious in that way. Can't say that word. So yeah, I will say I may be late, but I do keep you updated anytime. I'm like, usually depends on where I'm at in my life, but yeah.
yeah, for sure. We always communicate either way, for sure.
What does my what does my Instagram tell you about me?
Well, the fact that you don't have one really, you don't, or do you not? Now I'm trying to remember. I know you have a Facebook, but you don't really use it. I don't think you have an Instagram, or maybe you had one before and just never really used it. I can't even remember at this point. But either way, basically, you don't really use social media. So that's kind of. I feel like you did have an Instagram because I think you were posting stuff around when you were in Albania, or that maybe that was just on Facebook. I don't know. Now I'm getting it mixed up.
Which one is it? Which one's it gonna be? So I gotta pick one.
Well, it's what does it tell you about me? Is that you don't really use social media? That's not
Okay.
really your thing. So I just don't remember if you even have one or not.
So yeah, I don't use very much social media. I mean, like I guess I like watch YouTube, I guess if you want to call that social media. Um, I guess it is the type of social media. But so I have a Facebook, I have a Twitter, I have an Instagram. Have I used them? Facebook I haven't used pretty much since I got back from Albania, maybe once or twice. Instagram, I think the last time I posted on there was like when I went to Ghana on a trip. I think,
Hmm.
unless I put something up on, during Albania. I don't know. So it's been years. Yeah, yeah. I prefer, the old school ring me, call me up. Even texts are like okay, but I still prefer, I'm still a little old school.
That's why we're doing
TikTok,
these chats, these face to face, video chats.
I don't have any TikTok accounts or anything. So TikTok I'm not on at all.
Gotcha. All
You're on
right.
you're on TikTok though, aren't you?
Yes, I've just posted a few, not really much. But I do like watch random stuff on TikTok every now and then. TikTok, I will say, is YouTube has a good, or like an algorithm to get you sucked down the rabbit hole, but TikTok is like really good at doing it. Like they've perfected the algorithm to trap you into watching it. Like there's no
So
watching TikTok for like 2 minutes.
so I
It's
should
like
stay
2 hours.
away. Good.
Yeah, yeah.
And I will be staying away.
All right. Well, let's go off to level 2. Oh, wait. Oh no, this level 3 card is mixed in. Okay.
And
Level 2.
can you remind us what level 2 is again?
Yes. Level 2 is connection. All right. So let's see what that entails. All right. If you could have it your way, who would you be with? Where would you be? And what would you be doing?
Okay, let's break that question down one question at a time. If I could have it my way, who would I be with?
Yes.
I think I'd want to, and I'm asking this, or I'm answering this for you or for myself?
No, like for yourself.
Okay,
Who would
that's what I
you
thought.
be with?
That's what I
Yeah.
thought. Okay. I think I would want to be with people who, preferably with people who love me and appreciate me to some degree, who are open with me and I'm open with them. So that's who I'd want to be with. What was the second part?
Where would you be? And then what would you be doing?
Where would I be? That's a tough one for me. I like traveling. I'd love to travel some more. So, um, honestly, wherever there's good company and you can have like good like joint experiences with with people, whether they're your friends, your significant others, your family members, I'd go. Yeah, I don't really have like a tie to a specific place. I would just it's about making good memories and hanging out with people. So I'd go wherever wherever it makes it possible for me to do that. And the last part was,
What would you be doing?
I think I answered that too. I'd be hanging out with people that I care about. I know that sounds like very simple and straightforward, but in a nutshell, yeah, that's kind of me, just being with people. Again, it could be any activity. Like it's just sharing that activity with others, that having that sense of community. That's what I value. So if that means going to Mexico, or I don't know, like Thailand or wherever, yeah, I'd go. um yeah, I don't think I answered that one very well, but
No, I mean at its core, like that's to your point, like that's what you're looking for is just that sense of community and so wherever that is, I mean that makes sense.
and real quick, as an example, like about a month or so ago, I went for work to Monterey, California. And even though it was for work, like I've never been to Monterey. And I went with a coworker of mine, and we met other people there and connected. Like there was this sense of community. It was an agricultural conference, which I never thought I'd go to an agricultural conference, first of all. But just I felt so like at ease talking to people there. People very like down to earth, straightforward, and I felt very much happy to be there. So that's what I'm talking about. Just it's all about, for me, it's all about the people, the vibe, connection, that kind of thing.
Gotcha. Yes. Okay.
Are you missing anyone right now? Do you think they're missing you too? Hey, my hand, come here, my hand.
Am I missing anyone right now? And do I think they're missing you too? Um,
You better say your wife if she's watching us right now.
I mean, like realistic. I just saw her like
I'm
half
just
hour. I mean, like in general, like my general answer, if it wasn't right now, like yes, when I'm away from Maheen or Idris, like actually, I was gonna say yesterday, but 2 days ago on Thursday when I was at work, like I worked. I usually mostly work remotely, but occasionally go into the office. I was in the office all day, and then we actually met up and saw Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and then and got something to eat and stuff. And then by the time I got home, Idris was asleep. So like when I got home, like I kind of like I was missing him a bit. Like I pulled up the camera or whatever, I saw him sleeping there. I was like, oh, I just want to go in there and just give him a hug or whatever. So like in general, like yeah, I
cute.
certainly miss them. Um, but like right now, gosh, is there some other thing? I mean, what I'm missing right now, I feel like is um being able to get together and hang out with um some of my friends. Like I know I've hung out with you and we've seen some of our other mutual friends recently, but I'm talking about like my online friends, like we've had on the podcast Eric before and others, because we chat online a lot. We'll play Fortnite and stuff, but it's been a few years since we've actually gotten together in person. And so I was just thinking about that recently of I really want to find an opportunity to get everybody together again. But now people are, like some have families now and people are busy. And I'm, certainly for me to get away, it's busy too. So it's just in general, that's kind of been one of the feelings I've been having lately is just like, it'd be cool to find another opportunity or a chance or for our schedules to free up for us all to get together in person again. Do I think they're missing me too? I mean, I don't know if they're specifically thinking about me right now, but I'm sure in general, like just the feeling of everybody getting together again. Um, I think we've talked a little bit about it, but I think that we all kind of want to get back together again soon and do something. So
Maybe
yeah,
there's like a conference or something you can find that maybe you all go together or meet
yeah.
up.
There is something coming up in the fall called Ranger Stop, and I think a couple people are thinking of going. But I don't know if my schedule is gonna work out at the moment. It is far enough in advance that it is something I'm gonna look into a bit more and see. So yeah, maybe.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, now this is my question to you, right? Okay. Um, how would you describe the feeling of being in love in one word?
Don't. Don't, dude. Don't ask me that.
All right,
Uh,
we pass.
Um, let me think for a second.
See, for this one, you don't have to explain anything. You don't have to do it. Just says one word. There's no detail
That's
or anything behind it, but
that's so that's very complex. It sounds simple. It's like one word, but like
I mean,
one
it's
word.
complex. You could say complex is the word right there. I mean, I don't know.
One word to describe love, right?
Describe the feeling of being in love in one word.
Um, um, I have a few thoughts that come to mind, but there's no like one word I can think of. Yeah, I keep thinking of like I don't know. I can't quite think of one word. I keep thinking of like opposites harmonizing, but like or they don't necessarily have to be opposites, but like harmony. How about harmony?
Okay. Yeah.
That would be that would be a
Okay.
yeah.
That sounds good.
What's been your happiest memory this past year?
This past year. Happiest memory. Gosh, I mean, it like everything just kind of blends together. What is time even anymore? I'm trying to think of like one specific memory. I think, hmm, gosh, that's hard. I mean, can I answer it a little bit more generally? Like it's this type of thing, but over the course of, multiple times. But essentially um it's Reese like talking in like sentences almost now. Like because that to me, like it just is like so crazy to me now, like seeing that happen, like he's able to like explain and like say things and tell us what he wants, and like it just sometimes the things he says like just um and sometimes it throws me for a loop, or he like copies what we say, but often it's like daddy, I love you so much, and I'm like, like just like putting all those words together versus like daddy or love you, now it's like the whole sentence or whatever, just kind of like um just hearing him talk, and I like to like sit down with him, especially after work, and I'm like, all right, come here, let's have a conversation, and we sit down together. I'm like, what'd you do today? What'd you And he'll tell me, about all like the things that he did, like, oh, mama went playground, went slide, like, like, so he's kind of, getting it out, but it's just kind of I don't know, it's just really special to like to see that, and have and be able to finally actually start communicating with him a bit more, and I can see that he starts to like process and understand it and everything. So um that's just been pretty special, I would say. So it's not like one specific like thing he said or whatever, or one specific time, but just like now that he's like talking more, like that's been fun.
So it sounds like just like the fact that he can express himself better, and like is that accurate, or
Yeah, like just like he can express himself, explain things, but it's just cute, like just to hear like these sentences
yeah,
come out of the little body
yeah,
there, and he's just trying to like and sometimes he's like no, daddy, sit there over there, like he like kind of is like telling people what
bossing you
like where to
around?
go and
Yeah.
stuff, but it's just so funny, like the things he says, or he'll copy stuff like every now and then I'm like, oh my goodness, or whatever. So sometimes we'll be walking around, he'll drop something like, oh my goodness. Like, so he's like repeating, things like that now,
It's
just
cute.
like out of, just his memory now versus, directly hearing it. And so and today he started saying for the first time, like something and something, like instead of just listing things out, like he's starting to say like and like, so
Hmm.
the grammar's getting better, but it's
He's a
been
pretty smart kid. I mean, he's picking up stuff quick. But I know you also tell me that sometimes he won't stop talking. So
Yeah, I mean, the good and the bad, right? The
yeah,
happiest memories, but also some of the
yeah,
challenging times, the
yeah.
terrible twos. But it comes with the territory, right? But
Well,
yeah,
I say
it's
I say switch it up a bit and call it the terrific twos and just enjoy it.
yeah,
So, because before you know it, it'll be, I don't know, another T word threes.
right, yeah. Maybe the terrific threes are coming after the terrible twos. I don't know.
Maybe. But
All right, let's see. Um, how are we on time? Should we do another one more round, two more rounds? Let's see.
yeah, I think I'm
Let's
okay
see
with
how these go.
another
Okay.
round.
Well, so you asked me now, right? So let me. Okay. Uh, what's your father's name, and tell me one thing about him?
Okay. Um, so my dad's name is Harish, and one
I
thing
don't think
about
I knew that actually. I
really,
don't think I know your parents' names.
what about? I think
I don't know your.
I don't know if I wait. I think I know your mom's name, but I don't know if I know your dad's.
I was like, hey, there's something new we've learned after
That is
15 years.
interesting. Wait, yeah. So you don't know okay.
I've met them many times, but I
Yeah.
don't like address them by their name, and you don't call them by their name. So like, I guess it's
Uh,
never come up. But yeah.
yeah, my dad, he's because it's Harish, and he used to, way back in the day when we first like came here, people used to call him Harry for short.
Hmm.
Yeah. But one thing about him, lately he's really into YouTube. I don't know if it's like a I mean, I don't know if it's like a like 60s, 70s thing, because like because that seems to be a thing. Yeah, he like watches a lot of news and stuff on YouTube, and like
He's,
I
he's,
feel like I know why you're smiling right now.
yeah, he's same as my dad.
That's why
That's
that's
kind of
why
funny.
I was like, I don't know if it's like a thing, like,
Yeah,
but
I guess so.
but besides that, I will say he's a very hard worker. He's always been a very hardworking guy. So I admire that about him. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Um, okay, so now you ask me this one. Okay.
Do you think the image of you do you think the image you have of yourself matches the image people see you as? Interesting.
Wait, okay, let me process that. So do I think the image I have of myself matches the image people see me as?
Mm-hmm.
Um, no, I
Why
don't
not?
think so. Um, because the image that I have of myself is that I'm a child at heart. Full on, dork and just but I embrace it. I love it. I can be serious when needed, and tend to be pretty logical, but I do like to, chill, have fun, kind of open up a bit more and stuff. Uh, yeah, I feel like I'm just, not quite as I think the image people have of me is much more serious and straightforward, and they probably have like no idea of like, the fact that I dress up in a Power Rangers suit sometimes or whatever, or like do a YouTube thing or whatever. Like anytime I've ever brought that up, that's usually thrown people off guard, and I'm like, really? What? I think because in general I try, at least like in professional settings, to stay pretty professional, and don't really like open up like too much, except for like with close team members and things. And then out with like friends and stuff, I mean, I tend to be more introverted as well too, so I don't talk as much and share as much, and so people just kind of see me as a bit more quiet and reserved and serious and that sort of thing. At least that's what I think the image people have of me. Versus, to an extent, I am introverted and stuff too. But if you get to know me, I can open up a bit more um, and have some fun. But um,
I
yeah,
think I think yeah. I mean, do you want me to? Can I share my
yeah,
opinion of that, or just my thoughts on that? I think yeah, like initially, if on like just like a purely surface level, yeah, you do come across as not serious necessarily, but introverted, maybe more stoic. Um, but yeah, there's like I said, I think you were probably more introverted and like quieter when I first met you, what, like 15 years ago, I
yeah.
think. Whereas like now I think, you've really opened up quite a bit. So at least that's my perception of it. But
I think so, and I think part of that is being comfortable with myself and my self esteem, my self confidence, because at that point, that was at a pretty low point, I would say, around that time. I think, when we first met around that time. But through the experiences I've had, through you and others that I've met that have helped to open me up, you especially,
thanks.
and then just, I don't know, just like YouTube and other stuff where I've kind of gotten the confidence, I've kind of opened up a bit more in that way. But yeah.
One last thought. I was gonna say one thing I've always admired about our friendship, my friendship with you, is your authenticity. So thank you for that too.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
And I know that takes time to uncover, to build, and all that kind of stuff. But I like that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we go to level 3?
Let's do it.
All right. So this is reflection, level 3 now. So let's see what we got. Okay. Wild card. Wild card.
What was the word that you used for level 3 again?
Reflection.
Reflection. Okay. There's plenty of that in
All
mind.
right. What has this conversation taught you about yourself?
Just the back and forth between you and I.
I guess so.
What has it taught me? I think it's one there were definitely one or two things that I think we were surprised by that we don't know, like our parents' names, for example. But beyond that, I think it's more of a it's not much of a teacher, but more of a reminder that yeah, I think we know each other pretty well. And just I guess that's more of a reminder, and I'm pretty grateful for that. So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I feel like for the most part, we've also been able to, I feel like, guess each other's answers and have been pretty accurate to what they've been so far. I think to your point, that's a testament to like, because when we also hang out, like it tends to usually turn into deep conversations about stuff too. So we've always never shied away from that, and I've been pretty open, and that's, I think, at least for me, has always been pretty helpful. And I, certainly, I think we've both kind of learn and grow from each other, which is a great thing to have in a friendship for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, wild card. Okay.
What do you think my weakness is? Wait, that's the wild card? Okay.
No, that's not the wild card. I skipped the wild cards.
Okay. All right.
What do I think your weakness
is? Let's go. This is gonna be good.
Oh, gosh, let's see. I think I don't know the word weakness is right, but there's one thing sometimes that like. So I'll just explain it this way. So, I feel like you frequently apologize for things that I don't think you need to apologize for. And you're frequently like, I don't know, doing whatever, like, I'm out of it. So I'm sorry. Like whatever, like you just kind of always throw that as like whatever happens, or you say something, do something, and you just apologize for it. When like, 95% of the time, like there's no reason to apologize for anything. It's a perfectly fine, normal thing to do. And I feel like, I don't know if that's, if it's, like, what the word is, but like a, not being, super comfortable in some situation or something, but like just kind of throwing that out there to deflect off something when I feel like you're fine. Like you should just own it and take it, and just like there's nothing wrong with the things you're saying or doing, and just and yeah, just own that. So I would say that's, I don't know if that could be called a weakness necessarily, but it's certainly something that like, you got to have that confidence in
Room for
yourself,
improvement.
I would say.
Yeah. And that's not the first time I've heard that. Though I think I think I'm a lot more mindful of that now than I was when I was younger. Yeah, I don't know. I think I sometimes tend to have like this people pleasing tendency where, I don't want to disagree or burn bridges or whatever. Again, I think we were talking earlier, and I'm all about wanting to create connections, wanting to create community. And so I think that's kind of like where one of those things plays in. It's like I want to build bridges, not burn them. But at the same time, I'm with some of the life experiences that I've had, whether they're one-on-one or group experiences. I know I'm kind of just ranting here real quick. But yeah, I've just learned that I think the importance of saying no every once in a while, or not necessarily apologizing for something that, you just are. So again, finding more of that authenticity within me. And I think that's something that's continuing to be a
Yeah.
area of growth for me.
Yeah. And I think, it certainly makes sense if it's somebody new you're meeting, or this, you just don't know how people react in any situation, right? As you kind of get to know people and that sort of thing. But as you develop those connections with people longer term and stuff, then, hopefully you feel comfortable and can just kind of, you know, like you said, like say no when you need to, or just own it, be yourself.
Yeah. And again, that takes for some of us, it takes more time to get there. Again, be our own authentic selves, like owning who we are, that whole thing. So it's more of a process, I would say, that I continuous journey that I'm on, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, it's kind of so in one word, how would you describe our conversation? I feel like we kind of had a question about the conversation already. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
skip that one.
Yeah. That's,
Okay. Is there a feeling you miss?
hmm. Um, yeah, there is. Um, I don't know if I can succinctly describe it in like one or two words, but the feeling that I miss is when I was growing up. I was growing up, I grew up in India the first 11 years of my life, and as a kid, there was this sense of excitement that I always had when a relative was coming over, or when like people got together, when my mom handed me off to my neighbors and I got to play with them. I know it sounds like silly, but it was a nice feeling to have that sense of community. I think I've felt that sense of community off and on throughout my life here and there, but it was just different. It was just, have you ever heard the saying, it takes like a village to raise a kid?
Yeah.
It was very much that. It seemed like that was something I was reflecting on earlier today. I was listening to a podcast by Dr. Gabor Mate. I don't know if you know who that is. He's um he's a pretty popular like psychiatrist, psychologist. But yeah, he's very well known. But yeah, it's just I was reflecting on that, and I think that's a feeling that I sometimes miss. Um, what about you?
Gotcha. Well, so I was actually like when you were talking about that, kind of relating that I grew up in a townhouse in this little court, and like all the families pretty much knew each other, all the kids. We'd always play with each other. We'd always, go to each other's houses and stuff like that. Really was like a community,
Mhm.
it felt like. And then if somebody would move away or whatever, eventually when we moved away, um, like we were like me and my sisters were like just so upset, and we moved like 10 minutes away, but it was just a completely different thing. We ended up different schools and all that too, but that like it was in the middle of middle school too, so it was a big shift for me, and it like affected a lot of, I think, my self-esteem, self-confidence and stuff too from there. But I just remember growing up, like, yeah, like that community feeling, like that was the best. We would just go out and just play, do whatever. Like it was just um yeah, you just always knew that there was people around there that like supported you and helped you out, and it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember, I remember growing up in India, and one day my sister was like, there was a gate for the cars, like when the car comes in and out of like the little garage area. She like started swinging on the gate, and then the whole like well fell down. Well, like the whole wall fell down. I remember that day, and she was like horrified after that. I don't know why that memory just came back, but it did. So, like the whole gate just came down. I was like,
Oh
oh my
gosh.
gosh. She was okay, thankfully.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh
Tells you
man.
something about how sturdy things are back in the day.
All right, let's see. So I asked you that question, so now you get this one.
What answer of mine made you light up?
What answer of yours made me light up? I mean, I just like when you were just now just talking about like, the sense of community and all that too. Like I just that started going back to like those old days as well. And I will like every couple of years drive by like our old townhouse and just kind of just look and I have stopped by actually in that court too, and like most everyone's gone, but just to kind of see what's going on. But yeah, it just reminded me um of those days.
Mhm.
And just like when everything was a bit more just open and free and like nowadays, like I mean, I don't really know my neighbors. Like I mean, I know like my next door neighbors and stuff, but and
Mhm.
in terms of like having kids and families around, like I hope Idris can have, a similar experience, but it's just it's different
Mhm.
environment.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, should we do one more round probably?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we can start
One
wrapping up. Are we going to do the final
do
question?
we can, yeah, we can do that after this. So one round of level 3 and then the final question.
Sounds good.
All right, I don't know if we want to, this is another one about this conversation. What is a lesson you will take away from our conversation? I feel like
Next.
there's so many questions about the conversation and they keep coming to you. Um, okay, let's see. Based on what you learned about me, what book would you recommend I read?
Oh, I have no idea. Uh, yeah. Can
I
I?
guess if we either we can open this up more broadly to like just from in general any book you recommend I read because we've known each other 15 years, probably not too much new learned, or we can go to another question.
Yeah. Can we do another question?
Yeah. Okay, interesting. What can we create together?
A podcast.
Hey, there we go.
With more
Done.
than
Check.
24 subscribers. No, I think over the years we've done a lot of things together. Just little experiments and just things for fun. Um, what can we create together? I think we're coming up with, fun little ideas on what to do on here every once in a while. So I'm looking forward to what else we come up with. So far I'm really enjoying um this game. I guess game you call it. I don't know, whatever you call it. Um, but I don't know. One of these days, it's not necessarily like creating, but one of these days I like look forward to, you know, learning more from you about being someday being a dad. Just like talking to you about that. That'd be kind of fun. Because you're already there. So yeah. I don't know if that yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, excuse me. I feel like we have created a lot over the years and always have different ideas for things and um that's been that's been fun for sure. So yeah, I hope we continue to create and do things and um who knows what the future holds.
Yeah.
All right.
Based on what you know about me, do you have any Netflix recommendations? All right.
Netflix
Marvel,
recommendations.
go watch every Marvel show. I'm kidding.
Except those are not on Netflix.
Well,
But
there were a couple though, right? They took them off.
I think they're off now. I think all those Netflix shows are on Disney Plus. But I don't. Gosh, first of all, my my Netflix watching is very much limited to like Stranger Things when that comes out, Power Rangers, and then random reality shows.
Hmm.
um, the so it's hard for me to really recommend much, but
How about we open it up to all streaming services?
yeah.
Because
Um,
I don't watch much Netflix lately either. So
let's see. What would I? Um, you know what I? Okay, question for you. Have you seen The Fresh Prince of Bel Air?
no.
Okay. Well then maybe actually that should be my recommendation. But are you familiar with it at all, or the
Yeah, I've
show
heard of
with
it.
Will? Okay, yeah. With Will Smith and everything. I mean,
Yeah.
so that show it's like it's a classic, and it's funny but can get serious and emotional. It's like the old school like sitcoms, but they would have really deep and interesting themes and stuff about family and all sorts of different things. So that show is fantastic and very rewatchable. But what I was gonna get to is they've done a like remake of it that is like a lot more dramatized version. It's called Bel Air, and it's on Peacock. I think season two just started, so I need to watch season two soon. But the so it's not quite as funny and stuff, but like it the emotional core of the series is still pretty strong. You really start to feel for these characters. There's some really powerful moments. I mean, both Maheen and I were like crying at the season finale and stuff too. Like it's it's such a good show to me because it's like the dynamic amongst family and people trying to you know help each other out and help out these kids that are struggling and going through things that they're going through in their life. And it's yeah, I don't want to say too much without spoiling things, but it's a pretty solid show, I would say.
I thought it was so. Well, isn't it like at least the original? Isn't it more like funny, kind of like
Yes, the original one is pretty funny, and
right?
and like they have their like serious moments and things too, but they've taken like the same characters but made it like a more intense drama. So there's still some funny elements to it, but it's really exaggerated more on the drama side of things. So very different tone and feel. But the core of what made the Fresh Prince of Bel Air work before was like, again, the family aspect, the dynamic. So it's Will Smith, like he moves in with his uncle and their family. And so him getting along with, his cousins and stuff, and then his aunt and uncle, and like just the struggles, and he's trying to fit in this new lifestyle and stuff. So in the Bel Air show, it's like much more dramatized
Hmm.
um, and more modern and stuff too. But it gets pretty deep.
Gotcha. Okay,
Uh,
and that's on Netflix.
it's on Bel
Peacock.
Air's on
Peacock.
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 I don't know the original show if that's also on Peacock streaming or some other streaming service, but yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Um, all
So
right, that was the last question, right?
shall we do
So should
a
we go to the final question?
yeah? Isn't that like in a special like pack or
It
something?
is. So I have actually never, I didn't even, until we were talking the other day, I didn't even know there was a final card. But apparently in the packet here, there's what's labeled a final card. So we're seeing this for the first time together. Let's see what it is. So
Each
each player write a
write a
message.
message to the other, fold and exchange, open only once you two have parted. That's hard to do.
That's hard on a podcast.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, that doesn't really work itself out. Um,
Uh, we could just do another round instead because I
okay.
mean, it's
Yeah.
it's harder to do that right now, right? So
Yeah, that is true.
we
It's an
could, I
interesting
mean,
question. I like that idea. But we can.
I was gonna
Um,
say we could do it and then next time before we like start the podcast, we could reveal like, whatever if you want. If not, we don't have to.
um, I just feel like we just have to probably sit and write it, and it probably is going to be a little boring for people to watch as we're trying to
Oh
figure
no,
that
no, no,
out.
not right now. Just like
Oh, I see.
no,
I
no,
see.
no.
Yeah, we can try and do something. All right. So one more round here.
Cool.
What would be the perfect gift for me?
All right, I'm thinking big gift. The first thing that popped up in my head, um, this would be like a big gift. Uh, probably like a plane ticket to Japan. I think you'd probably go pretty wild over that and be like, "What?" I
That would
think.
be that is definitely one of the places I'd love to travel to, for sure. The thought of even thinking about a trip like that is also overwhelming to me because I feel like there'd be so many things that I'd want to like plan and map it out. Like most other trips, like when we went to Singapore, like I had a list of a couple things we want to do, but it wasn't like today we have to do this and this, and the next day that we kind of got there and then sort of figured it out, just to kind of enjoy. But like Japan would be like, I would be bummed if I missed out on certain things, so I'd have like I need to get through this whole checklist of all this stuff. But yeah, I would love to go, for
I
sure.
mean, I kind of took something you like and added my sense of adventure to it, and then kind of said, okay, well, this is what you're gonna get.
Yeah,
Um, but like, yeah, I don't know. That was the first thing that came to mind is Power Rangers, and then it was like, oh, okay, he likes that. Japan, done. Like,
yeah, they do have like live shows like for the
yeah,
Japanese, Super Sentai for Power Rangers or whatever. But
yeah.
so that's yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff.
I still like, I know you like Power Rangers a lot, like everything about them. I still don't know, like, I think there are five of them, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what they're all called. So, it's pretty sad. Like, I
I
should,
I know we reacted to a Power Rangers movie trailer, and I just remember that one because it was like on a break or something at work, and I remember I was like, oh my gosh, wait, Zordon's in the street, and you're just like, I don't know who that is, I don't know
yeah,
what's going on.
I'm still, that's still where I'm at today. Um, but yeah, I mean, still like, I think, yeah, getting you a ticket to Japan would be pretty awesome. Honestly, like, if I got you a ticket to Japan, I'd just want you to like live stream half the things and be like, yeah, yeah, tell us about it. Like, and like here I am, like just watching you like doing cool things in Japan or whatever, and
Oh
living
yeah, if I ever
vicariously.
go to Japan, I for sure would have to vlog and do. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that would be for sure. Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Based on what you learned about me, oh my gosh, these questions.
Should we social media? I don't know if that does that really apply. I don't know.
Yeah, let's try another one. Because what do you think our oh, okay, this is good. What do you think our most important similarity is?
Um, let's see. We do have a lot of similarities and also a lot of differences. I feel like
I agree.
balance each other out pretty well. The most important similarity, um, I mean, I feel like, and partially, I think that ties into this podcast as well. But is just like I feel like we have similar um, values and similar. I mean, the culture and stuff plays a part in it, and there's similarities there too. But I think like I feel like you and I both have just a similar, yeah, sense of value, sense of respect for certain things, just kind of the underlying like what's the word I'm looking for here, but like the underlying way that we go about our lives and just kind of what informs that and how we want to live our lives, like just our sort of moral code, so to speak, I guess in a way, like I just think um is very similar, and I think that's part of what makes um us good friends and have stuck together over the years is like we both, even if we ever have any disagreements, anything like that. At the end of the day, like we both know that we're coming from a place of good intent, and what, we have that kind of respect for each other, and just like that is a good core foundation
Mhm.
um for our friendship. And I think that's um certainly pretty important.
That's pretty deep. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah. All right. Was that a good enough reflection there?
I
A
think
little bit.
so. Yeah. I don't know. I enjoyed that. Yeah, that was something pretty different. And it gave us something like I like the whole unexpected aspect of it. Like we don't know what's gonna, what question's gonna pop up next, even though I
Yeah.
passed on a couple, but yeah, that was pretty good. We
Yeah.
should
Yeah.
do we should do like a part two of this, like later on in the year or something.
Yeah, that'd be fun. And also, and I think we floated around the idea a little bit, but it didn't work out this time. But maybe
Yeah.
with a guest or something too, which would really add a whole other. Because, I mean, yes, we can always continue to learn more about each other and grow in that. But also, with somebody else, it'd be so much more, things to learn and be
Yeah,
interesting. So that'd be pretty fun.
I agree. Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Um, All right. Well, with that being said, thank you to everybody as well for hanging out and listening. If there's any questions that you've listened to that you want to answer or throw your thoughts into, make sure you share with us via in the comments or in social media as well. You can find us on Twitter at the Dose of Desi, and you can email us at the Dose of Desi pod at gmail.com.
Yeah, and if anybody out there knows of any other like games or ideas or anything like that, anything like this that may be similar but maybe fun to try out, let us know. Yeah, but besides that, thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you next time.
Bye.